Sana.
My first day to learn a motorbike was not easy. I was nervous because here in Uganda it's not a culture that ladies ride motorcycles. Social workers move into villages to follow up kids' learning, to check the health in families, the sanitation. So this work involves moving into the fields. I learned it, and now I'm done with the studies. So very soon, Rose, the social work, will be introducing me to the profession. She will be taking me around to the field, to the families, to start off the work.
This family, I want that you put it on the list of those families that you are going to visit regularly.
Okay.
You know, sometimes they don't eat. They take one meal.
Yes.
So, and it's not right that the family takes one meal for a whole day. At least 3 meals or 2 meals, but one. Mostly on how they should improve on the academic standards, because the academic issue is still a problem to this family. This is Monde and this is Bongole. So they always go to Sala Primary School.
I went to Makere University for my studying, and life there was such an interesting one, because when I left my home village Zigoti, I went to Kampala, where I stayed for 3 years for my university education. I had so many friends. Studying was not the whole day. We could study in the morning, and evening was just moving around with friends, going for dancing in the evenings, cooking and inviting friends. Generally, life there was so easy. Problems came only when you had no money, because the standards of living there are so high. Everything needs money. You have to buy food, you have to pay for accommodation. So when it came to money issues, life at times could not be easy, but studying was not for the whole day. We could study just for a few hours, and the rest of time was left to us to enjoy. So I toured Kampala. I'm glad that I now know most of the places in Kampala, the areas. And when it came to examination time, towards the end of the semester, we could seriously read, because there is failing. It's not a must that everyone who goes at campus passes. If you don't read hard, you fail and you don't graduate. So we could read, we could spend sleepless nights when it came to exams. And I used to treasure this time so much, because we can gather like 10, we read for the whole night. Then when time for exams come, we crash and pass. After my O-level, after my senior 4, I worked as a helper in Christoph Betterman School, Zigoti. A helper helps children to go to the toilet, the handicapped children, helps them in teaching with the class teacher, also bathing them, taking care of them. After senior 6, I took a year in Bongole Primary School, serving as a teacher in primary 2. Through this experience, I'm very happy that I acquired the skills to work with children, students, and that's the profession I want to go with, because I'm really interested in working with people.
Cissy, this is Nanyonjo's family. She's a spotted girl. When the husband died, mother came back to her mother's home. Now, when I made the follow-up, Christine was always missed school. As you saw also, the distance is big. She could not manage going and coming back. So we decided that we would send Christine to school. We found out that there was other children at home who were not going to school. For example, Senyonjo, he's 8 years, of course, but he has never gone to school because the mother is positive. She stays with her grandmother. They depend on farming. In the future, we hope to start supporting him.
In my volunteering year at Bongre Primary School, I got to know that the porridge program exists where distributes porridge in different schools, even in public schools. During break time, students, children, and teachers take porridge, and in this, students become active in class because they are not so hungry after break. My father used to have a job and he used to sell second-hand clothes in Kampala. But then, since I live in a family of 3 girls and 4 boys, my dad kept on paying fees, removing money from the business. Then, from nowhere, the business collapsed. After my primary 7, I had to remain home. My father could not support my secondary education. He told me I should wait so that he pushes the young ones also to acquire some education. I was really the saddest when I got to know that I cannot attend school anymore. I was the saddest because my friends could go to school and I could remain home at home. So it was not such an easy moment for me. I had performed well in the previous studying, even better than most of them, but they could go because some of their parents could afford. Others had helpers, guardians who could support them. But personally, I could remain home and it was such a difficult moment for me. Yeah. So as I was home, they felt pity, mercy for me. After 3 to 4 days, they took me to school, paid my fees. They gave me books and pens, all the scholastic materials that I needed. They bought shoes for me because I even never had shoes, I can't imagine. Then I started in the middle of the term, but still I couldn't give up since I was interested in studying. So I'm really grateful. When I worked in Christoph Betterman School, I noticed that the children with special needs, the handicapped in this school, had got a great opportunity because traditionally they were not allowed to move out by their parents. They were always kept in their houses. They were denied education. They were denied rights generally. Building these schools is really very important because they acquire the basic skills of life, like learning to go to toilet, learning the eating habits. They also learn the vocation skills like tailoring, carpentry, such skills that they can also use to earn a living. Practical skills like carpentry, tailoring, welding, hairdressing are very important for the district because they equip learners with practical skills which they can use to create jobs for themselves. Because the curriculum of Uganda is so much theoretical that even after maybe studies, students cannot create their own jobs. But if they go in for practical studies, it becomes easy for them to create jobs after the studying. For example, the tailoring workshop produce uniforms for the whole schools. They also produce other products like the bags, dolls that are sold in the Austrian markets. Then the shoemaking workshops, they produce shoes which are sold in the markets. The welding workshop, they produce doors, windows, which are used in schools. And then the carpentry workshops, they produce the furniture that is used in all schools. Formerly, we used to get water from the dirty wells and we would suffer from typhoid, bilharzia. Life wasn't easy. People would always get sick because of the dirty water. But because of the construction of boreholes, we can now get clean water, which is ready for drinking, using housework. So people are becoming more healthy because of the clean water. It's important in Uganda that women are educated because formerly they were not allowed to take part in politics. They were not allowed to take up church responsibilities. Any responsibilities women were not allowed. But nowadays, when a woman acquires education, she's free to take up political positions, church responsibilities. These days, they even take part in family responsibilities. You can even find single women taking up responsibilities in family. They even take care of their own children without men. These days, women also take up roles that were formerly considered to be those of men. They ride motorbikes that I was learning it. Another important thing with educating women is that educated women marry later and they produce a few kids. So if women are educated in Uganda, meaning the high population will be minimized with its negative effects of unemployment, high crime rate, among others. Parents used to send their children in marriage at the age of 15 in favor of bride price. Such girls usually produced so many children, thus contributing to the high population of Uganda. When I was still a kid, I wouldn't dream that I could become such an important person in life, that I could become a social worker, that I could ride a motorcycle just like other men in the world, in the country. I'm now 24 years old and I look forward to having a good life. Now I have a bright future and I hope for an improved life. Thank you so much.